My goodness, Atlanta. They have paid all that money to that quarterback, Kirk Clemens. They got
Cousins.
their doors Kirk Cousins. They got their doors blown off in Minnesota. Cousins, get this, in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, all the money they're paying him, last 4 losses, no touchdown passes, 8 interceptions for Kirk Cousins.
Oh, God.
And boy, they booed him unmercifully in Minnesota because he walked out on the Vikings.
Yeah.
So bad situation, Atlanta. This situation with the Raiders is just dreadful. Aiden O'Connell is gone for the year, undergoing MRI exams. Raiders got killed again yesterday down in Tampa. They've lost 9 in a row. Aiden O'Connell either has torn knee ligaments or a broken leg. They are just decimated by injuries. And to compound it, you know that Deion Sanders has his own private network group of reporters that kind of trail him, and they put out stuff about him. Shedeur Sanders talked to Antonio Pierce this week about Raiders drafting Shedeur Sanders.
Hey.
Coach Prime delivered the message, Antonio, I want you to draft my kid at quarterback.
Cool.
Now, obviously, Raiders are going to have a very high draft pick. We'll find out. But the Raiders are 2-10. What a disaster that is. Only surpassed by the Pro Bowl, maybe Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers, whose Jets are now 3-10. What a mess that is. And he threw for 330-plus yards yesterday. It's the highest total he's had in 3 seasons. And Garrett Wilson had an unbelievable day. Devontae Adams had an unbelievable day, both well over 100 yards in receptions, and the Jets still lost. I could have never, ever imagined Aaron Rodgers' team would be 3-10. In Cleveland, Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston. Sunday's game with Pittsburgh was a typical Jameis Winston day. Big pass play down the field, touchdown pass, turnovers. End of story. Cleveland gets pasted by Pittsburgh. Here's a stat I didn't realize, and I used to work in Cleveland. I knew how tough it was to go into Pittsburgh back in the day in the Chuck Noll era, and the Browns just could never win there. The Browns have lost 21 straight games over 21 years in Pittsburgh.
That's unbelievable.
It is an amazing statistic. And the last one is the New York Football Giants, owned by the Mara family. Right before kickoff, somebody in a plane flew over MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands with a huge trailing banner. Giants dumpster fire. And the sub on the bottom of the banner said, fire everybody. And the players saw it. And they went out and they got crushed again.
Yeah.
They've lost 8 in a row. The Giants are winless at home. They're 0-7 at home in the Meadowlands this season. So, yeah, we can talk about great teams and great quarterbacks, but boy, there's some bad football being played around the NFL. Your comments, please, on Kirk Cousins, the Raider Nation, and those other 3 really bad teams.
Okay, well, first of all, does Michael Penix have a shot here, or is he still going to be the backup in Atlanta?
The media is saying it's time. And you're on the hook for all this money you gave Kirk Cousins, and he's playing like this? I would have never, ever imagined that quarterback would go 4 games, no touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and make the kind of decisions he's making. I mean, he should have beaten the Chargers a week ago Sunday, and he gave that thing away.
Yeah.
Because in Minnesota and was just dreadful in the loss there. The media is chastising the Atlanta leadership, saying, why won't you play this other guy? Because you're not winning with that guy. Amazing story.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Atlanta. Let's talk the Raiders. I mean, Shedeur Sanders going and having prime time sort of linked indirectly with the Raiders would be just great theater. But I'll tell you this, we set you up with a new Blue Sky account, and it's kind of like Twitter. And Antonio Pierce is following you on Blue Sky.
Oh, I bet he's not going to send me a Christmas card.
I was wondering because we've been kind of bashing him a little bit.
What's your record, pal? That's just critiquing what your record is.
But we'll see if it's a verified account. It might be an imposter. Who knows? Jameis Winston with Cleveland is interesting to me. I had no idea about his personality. I mean, that guy,
dynamic,
very. I mean, in front of a microphone, that guy's got a lot to say. He's funny. He's enjoyable. It's a guy that you want to see have success.
But a couple things with him. One, he's got a cannon for an arm. Two, he's a competitor. Three, he will throw touchdowns. And four, he will throw picks and he'll take sacks and he'll fumble the football. I think in modern day NFL quarterbacks, he's one of the highest touchdown guys, but he's got one of the worst turnover ratios there is. Just absolutely stunning.
That sounds like Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather have Winston over Minshew, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But you always know how it's going to wind up with Winston. I think that's a problem.
It's just, man, it's drudgery there for Cleveland. And yeah, New York football is a disgrace up and down. And when you're talking about the banner that they flew over on the airplane, do you remember when the Chargers moved up to LA to Carson? They were doing that like every week, dump Spanos, they were all over the ownership there too. I mean, imagine having the money to throw at something like that, just to have an airplane fly over the stadium.
Okay. That's the first half of our Monday bonus podcast.